get the wax on your cloth and apply it to the surface. Everybody's technique is a little bit different. I'd like to welcome the Process Art Discovery audience. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Linda Norman. I'm a watercolor artist in British Columbia, and today I'm going to talk about how I seal and protect my watercolors. Many of you have asked about sealing and protecting your watercolors. There's two things that I do. Most often I will use spray products, and starting with Kamar Varnish. It's a Krylon product. There may be other alternatives. I started using Kamar when I was doing a lot of alcohol ink. It was the only product that I found that would not reactivate the inks on my surfaces. So I've continued to use it. I like the product. It protects. It gives a nice coat of protection that will kind of keep everything from moving around. This is not a water-based product, so it's not going to reactivate my watercolors. So I'm not too worried about that, but I do like the amount of protection it gives. And then when I'm finished with a couple of light coats of that and after it's dried, I will use another Krylon product, UV Archival varnish spray. And this is a non-glare. It's a matte finish, and a couple light coats of that, and I'm confident that whatever I've put that on, whether it's paper or canvas, that it will provide enough protection that without having a piece being placed behind glass, it can be wiped off with a damp cloth. Things aren't going to move around, and it will preserve the colors and the integrity of the painting. Some colors that I use are classed as fugitive, which means they aren't light fast so much, and they will fade. I like to think that this is going to protect them for a good amount of time. It's also a really effective way to treat canvases, especially on a larger level, or paper. Some of the paintings that I do on canvas are 2 feet by 4 feet. Some of the paintings I do on paper are 20 inches by 30 inches, so fairly large. So the other option that I'm going to show you, the waxing, is not for me an option. That's a lot of elbow grease and a lot of work. So I prefer the sprays, especially for the larger products on the canvases. Much easier to handle. I do take them outside to do that. You don't want to be spraying in an enclosed room. That's definitely a no-no. So for canvases and for paper, the Krylon spray products, absolutely. If you decide you want to spray with something a little further, like with more gloss, this is a UV resistant matte finish, but there are semi-gloss and gloss finishes as well that you can use. So check those out, and there may be equivalents that you could research if the Krylon's not available. I will put a link. They are available on Amazon and online, but check around for the best prices. I find locally our local big box stores often will have it at a better price. The other thing that you can do with your watercolors is to protect them with a wax product. And there's two products that I will use. This one is called Gamblin, the company, Cold Wax Medium, Artist Soft Gel Colors. No, yep, Soft Gel Colors. Interesting. It's not a color. It's a plain, opaque white. I use this on the eco pages that I do, the boiled organic pages. You can use it on pen. It's not going to make anything bleed. And then the other product is called Dorland's Wax Medium. Either one will give you great results. We'll start with this one since it's open. I like to use gloves because the wax is, it's hard to get off your skin. And so we'll use the glove on the hand. I use these little pieces of, they're I don't even know, they're almost like a piece of felt, artist's felt, but these actually were napkins I picked up at the dollar store, and just, they come in really large pieces, and I cut them up and use them for absorbency in the studio. And the process with this is a watercolor with a bit of pen on it. And I thought we'd start with that. And you just get the wax on your cloth and apply it to the surface. Everybody's technique is a little bit different. Because I use them on smaller pieces, I can use the wax and then let it sit for just a couple of minutes and then buff it. I know artists who let it sit overnight after they've applied the wax. So you just want an even coat, and if you sit back, you can, at an angle, you can see where the wax is sitting on the surface of the paper, but you can see it's not moving the pigment around at all. There's a bit of pen on here, it's not affecting that at all. None of the color is coming off. And so you could probably heat it up a tiny bit too. It's in my cold studio, so it's a bit thick, but once you get it all on your surface, then you can start buffing. And you want to get a smooth surface on your fabric, and just circular motions, buffing, just to get the wax into the surface of the paper. Because I paint generally on rougher watercolor paper, it will have a bit of tooth, a bit of pebble on the surface of it. So you really want to get into that. Make sure that stays flat. You really want to work the wax into those little dimples in the surface of the paper. And I can see where I think I missed a little spot there. I can feel by the drag on my cloth as I'm working. Once I get to a spot where there isn't any wax or enough wax, it moves a lot smoother and does not have that drag. So a good application of this, if you can leave it for 24 hours, that's probably a good idea. You can reapply, put one coat on, and to me it just gives it a slight burnished effect, just very, very slightly. It doesn't change the finish in terms of glossiness. But what you have now is a surface that is protected from the elements. If you've used light, fast watercolors, that's even better for longevity. So I think for the smaller projects, it'll give you that beautiful, and it's really hard, I know, for you to see on the camera, but there is just a lovely kind of a glow. It tends to enhance, I think, it enhances the colors. It brings them out just a touch more vibrant than they were. So I would say probably before you decide to frame it or move it on to the next level of finish for presentation, let it sit for 24 hours. I can feel this hand, because I touched it, I can feel a bit of stickiness on my hand. So you want that sort of to dissipate, and that will over time. So give that a try. That was the Dorland's wax. Beautiful product, available, and again, I'll put a link in the description for you, but you can find it pretty much at any art supply store. Craft stores will have it. A lovely little product for finishing pretty much any art project, any painting that you're doing. Now I'm going to flip this over. This is a piece that I did yesterday with some soft pastels that were gifted to me over Christmas and a bit of watercolor. So I want to try this. I haven't, pastels are new to me, so this is an experiment I'm inviting you to join me in just to see how those pastels will react to this. So we'll do a quick, and we'll switch over to the Dorlands, or the Gamblin rather. We did Dorlands. We'll switch over to the Gamblin Cold Wax Medium. And we will get this on and just see what it does with the pastels. I can see a bit of the color coming off. Pastels are chalky, So they're going to leave a bit of that product on the surface, and I didn't take a brush and dust it off. So let's just see what happens. See if it brings out those colors. I'm seeing that the Gamblin wax feels a little less tacky, and it could be because the products have been here for a while in my studio, and it is cool. But this one seems to react a little more smooth, getting it on the surface here. It felt like it went on easier. I don't see that it has affected the flow of the pastels, although I can see just a tiny bit of color has come off, which is interesting. So what I'm going to do is fold this so that I've got a cleaner piece, and we'll see where we go from there. We'll do some burnishing. Yeah, a bit of the pastel color is coming off. So again, that could be just my fault for not having cleaned it off before applying this. But we'll persevere. It's not coming off in an amount that I feel is affecting the color of other parts of the painting. It seems to be the darker green, and that could be because with the pastels I did use a bit of water and a tiny bit of watercolor just to get my treetops happening, and so the combination there could be an issue. But I love that this is still keeping the integrity of the painting. It hasn't darkened the sky. I'm going to go in with a cleaner spot on my cloth for the sky area, just to keep any of that color that may have come off from the trees and the rocks from transferring into the sky. But I'm happy with that. I would use that again on pastels in the future. I don't mind that is coming out. Now it doesn't look as doesn't look like it has as much of a sheen as this one with the Dorland's wax. And so that would be something that I think might just be a consideration if you wanted a bit more sheen, wanted it to look a bit more burnished. The Dorland's, it was definitely doing that. And I felt that the Dorland's sort of brought up the color just a tiny bit more. The Gamblin kept everything pretty similar. It doesn't look to me like it has had an application of anything. It feels like it, of course, but you cannot tell. And if you can see on the Corplast board here, where I've gone over the edge, you can see that there definitely is wax there. It's showing up on the board, but not so much on the paper. So that's, I'm going to take it I'm going to tape it just ever so slightly on the edge just to hold it. But I can actually, now that I've picked it up and have turned it to the light, there is just a tiny bit of a sheen, so you can see that it has, I think it's enhanced the colors slightly as well. So there you have two ways to help preserve your paintings. There's validity and benefits from both. It's just whatever is more convenient for you and whatever gives you the feeling or the look that you're looking for. So give them a try if you get a chance. See what you feel. Depending on your style of art, you might find that one works better than the other. I'd like to thank the Process Art Discovery audience for joining me here today as we looked at different ways to seal and protect our watercolors. If you like what you've seen, subscribe to the channel.